get their work done, get out of there. But for me, I'd rather having people interaction and just that extroverted side of me. I want that built into my job. So with more TPM is what it's known as, technical program management, or the PM aspect of things, you get that more meetings that are going to happen and cross-team collaborations. And not that doesn't happen on a C level, but it's more so built into the job once you lean into the PM side.
Nice, that's awesome. I also had like a remote internship. I had a remote internship this summer, and just being online was like a little tough, so I loved like when we had in-person events and like we actually got to see people like face to face, which is awesome.
And that brings up a good point in balancing remote and in person. Yeah. Well, I think we're gonna go ahead and get started. So welcome everyone. This is our dorm tour of New North, a dorm in the heart of USC campus. My name is Taylor. I'm a current junior studying computer science and business administration, and I'm involved in a wide variety of activities on campus, including being current vice president of the National Society of Black Engineers. I'm also in Co-Society, which is the Black Women Empowerment Org, and I serve as community development chair.
Awesome. And hi again. My name is Aisha. I'm a current senior, majoring in biomedical engineering, and I'm also pre-med. And some of my involvements on campus include Troy Camp, which is like a mentorship organization for kids in the local South LA community. Super cute, super great work. I'm also part of Frontier Records, which is a USC founded nonprofit startup, which is really cool. And I'm also in the Impact Investing group, which is actually housed under the Marshall School of Business. So get a nice little blend there. All right, and then we'll kind of just get started by panning the room a little bit. So starting here, we have just a bunch of closet space, and as you can see up here as well, a lot of storage space too. So for those of you scared that you won't be able to bring everything to college, you might not be able to bring everything, but you definitely have a decent amount of space to hold
And let me just say, pro tip for packing, vacuum seal bags.
That's a great tip.
But yes, there's a lot of storage space. However, don't bring the whole room, maybe half the room for now. And you can go ahead.
All right, and then moving on, we have actually all of the dorm style rooms will have this. Each student will have a desk and then some drawers here just for extra space. So students are able to work, do that late night studying, get on that grind and whatnot. And then here we just have our bed, and as you can see, the room is actually very spacious. There's a lot of space for 2 people to live in here, and this is a double, so we have 2 people living in here. Really nicely decorated. You got some extra storage there, and then a nice highlight is the mini fridge and the microwave right there. If you ever need like late night snacks or any of that. Overall, the one thing are that the dorm style rooms don't have AC. So what you'll see is a lot of kids have like these giant fans just like on their desk to help with the late nights. Where we'll have like the big kind of like rotating fans just to help keep cool during the summer. More of the summer, like getting into fall months.
And you'll see like a lot of part of the room is really just making it your own. All the wall sync decoration can really help this dorm feel like home and feel like you. And on top of that, just getting along with your roommate, making sure you have good communication is what makes this space most effective.
Yeah, and then once we head outside, we'll kind of see what the RA scene kind of looks like here at New North. Never hurts to see some nature.
I guess we could just do a quick pan of the room while we get out of the way.
Okay.
All right, so now we're just going to go over to a walking sitting area right in the center.
Yeah.
Right next door to lesbian classmates, colleagues, different things, and it's just a very social environment. Right now, a lot of us are in class, so you're not going to see the most people out and about, but definitely more towards the evening time and early mornings is when you run into a lot of people.
Yeah. happen more like later in the day. But New North actually has, or does have, not sure, but an open door policy. So the students are actually allowed to kind of keep their doors cracked so they can meet more students, bring people into their rooms, and kind of just hang out more openly, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's good. We're gonna switch. So right now, what we're coming up on is basically the RA wall. Basically, when you walk in, there's going to be a wall that welcomes you in, has a bunch of photos of your RAs, you'll be living with, and also highlighting the activities that your dorm hall will be doing for the year. Every dorm has their own activities, whether, I think up here they're going to Catalina Island, to taking a tour, mine went to Huntington Library, and so it's just a great little bulletin board to keep up to date on what's going on at USC, what you can get involved in, and how to get out the dorm, because while it might be great, you don't always want to be here.
Yeah, and pro tip, the dorms always give out free food, especially to freshmen. It's something I was sad to miss. But if you take a look at this wall, they usually will have announcements of what's coming up. My friend is actually an RA here. Oh, there she is.
Oh, Lexi.
Lexi!
Oh, we love Lexi.
Yeah. So, and Princess. So they're actually RAs here in New North, and they're also fellow engineers. So they just help to kind of manage the students, make sure everybody's behaving, and just kind of keeping the peace.
Yeah, for sure.
And just a few questions for you guys.
Yeah.
How did you guys find your roommates?
Oh.
Okay, I can go first. So there's a lot of apps that go around, whether it's ZMe, the Snapchat group chats, the GroupMes. And for me, it was very overwhelming, but I definitely tried to join all of them. I tried to join all of them, meet different people, see who I could talk to. And even if I wasn't active in the group chat, just seeing the conversations that happened, seeing what people were talking about, I was kind of able to find people who I thought I had stuff in common. And so from there was just one girl who we kind of got along. I forgot what the conversation was now. But I just messaged her at 1 a.m. and I was like, hey, are you looking for roommates? I saw you were looking for people in McCarthy. A step to the side. And so with that one message, she had already been in contact with 2 or 3 girls. They were also looking for roommates. We actually hopped on a FaceTime a couple times, or FaceTiming before, and we just all mutually got along. It was a good vibe. And I knew I wanted to live with people I met versus someone who completely couldn't.
Yeah.
So from there, we agreed to be housemates, roommates. And to this day, we're still housemates now, even as we move to 2 other different places beyond our freshman year dorm.
Yeah, for me, I met my now direct roommate at Explore SC, which is an on-campus event that we have. So that was kind of just by chance. We met, we talked, we kept in touch over the summer going into freshman year. So that was great. We actually ended up living together. So freshman year, we were supposed to be suite mates, and the way I found my supposedly going to be direct roommate that for freshman year before COVID had hit was actually just literally through Instagram messaging 10 different people and just kind of seeing how the conversation is. It's really speed dating is how we to say it.
Definitely
it's speed dating to find who you're gonna live with, because you're gonna share a space with them, you're gonna share a lot of time with them, so it's important to make sure you have someone that kind of fits your vibe and you guys get along. But that being said, my brother, who's a freshman, went random and gets along with his roommate really well. So, yeah, random doesn't do too bad either.
It's honestly just pros and cons of what you're looking out for. For me, I knew I wanted specific values, and so I was trying to find them in the people I room with. But a con to that is I'm living with people I probably would have been friends with anyways, versus going random. It opens the door to meeting literally anyone on this campus. And you guys could be the best of friends, or it could just be another friend group that you would have normally not met. All right, let's keep going.
Any more questions for us?
Yeah. So would you guys say that getting USC housing is relatively easy for students?
For sure, actually. So USC housing is guaranteed for your first 2 years. So automatically, you don't have to worry about finding an apartment or anything.
We're actually right by the laundry room. We're going to take a brief break to just show you where kids can come, do their laundry. You do have to pay, unfortunately, but it's not too much for the washer and the dryer. But yeah, super close to a lot of people's dorms. Very convenient.
And it varies depending on the dorm, but I believe this one has the app where you can just download an app and pay versus having coins and quarters.
Yeah,
so.
I think all of them have the app now.
All of them have the app now.
Okay,
perfect.
Yeah.
Even better.
Because quarters are so.
I don't carry cash.
I don't carry cash ever. So.
Yeah. All right, let's continue.
We actually have our first question from Stas. Thank you, Stas.
Oh.
So is this dorm specifically for Viterbi students, or are the dorms just for whoever?
So the dorms are for whoever. There's actually no engineering specific area. You'll find that there are certain affinity groups, I feel like is the best way to describe it. So there's some cultural centers, whether it's Somerville, which is centered towards Black students, incoming freshmen. There's also the Latino floor. I think it's also in the same building, essentially, for those of Latin American descent, and a variety of interest group related floors where if you want to find people of a similar interest, you could. But as a whole, there's no dorm building that's specifically for engineering.
And what we like to say is it's kind of nice that there's not like just a building dedicated to engineers, because you spend a lot of time with your engineering friends, just like as it is, studying in classes, extracurriculars, all of that. So sometimes, being able to go home and like see how your other friends are doing, it's kind of nice. Not to say that engineers are not bad to live with, because a lot of engineers do end up living together too. But yeah, no engineering specific dorm.
Thanks. Okay. And then I guess going back to the original question about housing, finding housing, guaranteed for first 2 years. And I will say you won't always get your first choice. So I know my first choice freshman year was 4%, double, 2 bathrooms. I got put in the loft, the smallest dorm on campus. Worked out great, and I still had a place to stay, but I just won't always get my first choice. So pros and cons to that, but after that, most upperclassmen choose to move off campus, or they're put into a lottery to apply for USC housing again. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Okay. So we are actually are we on the second floor of New North right now. The third floor of New North right now. This is my bad. Most of the freshman dorms don't have elevators, but they're only I want to say 3 stories. So not that bad to get to the steps in. Yeah. We have another bathroom here. Oh, that's probably a good point that we should touch on.
Communal bathroom.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
So our traditional
I've
dorm
heard they have
style
music
will
outside.
have
It's like
communal
4
bathrooms.
pages long.
And you'll have a personal bathroom for your suite, but you would likely share it with a certain segment of people on your floor. That being said, they're always accessible, they're always there.
Yeah, and they get cleaned.
They
So
get
you don't have to clean them yourself, which is kind of nice. Sophomore year, most of them are apartment housing, so you will actually have bathrooms inside of your dorm rooms.
Along with kitchens. That's
Along
another
with
perk of sophomore year once you move to those apartment style dorms.
We have another question from the live chat. How many rooms per floor, and how many showers/restrooms per floor?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think either of us know. You'd have to look it up online for the exact stats, but if I roughly had to guess based off of the walk we've been doing right now, I'd say each fourth of a quadrant has a bathroom, if that makes sense. And I believe the number they say is they try not to share it with more than 20 people or more than 15 people. So that's rough estimates, but I really suggest you look online to get the exact numbers.
And I know as in my friend is an RA here, she has, I want to say 20 to 30 kids that she's in charge of. So usually the RAs will each kind of take either a hallway or a corner section. So I would say that's a pretty good estimate. Yeah, sorry. Don't take our word for it. No, definitely look it up online. Yeah. All right.
I don't think it's a thing to be waiting in line for a shower though. If you're worried about
I
access to
haven't
the
heard of
bathroom,
it. Yeah.
I haven't heard about any problems with that. So that shouldn't be anything you have to worry about.
Not from the live chat, but what are your favorite places to study on campus?
Ew. My favorite, the place I frequent the most to study is Levy Library, which is actually a 2-minute walk from here. But definitely not my favorite place, because those are when I'm really riding the midnight oil and doing a lot of assignments. So don't have my best studying memories there. I would say one of my favorite places is Hammock Hill. I like kind of just posting up, getting some sun,
You're
being
the
in
first person I've
nature.
heard to refer that.
Really?
I know what you're talking about, but I didn't know.
You don't call it Hammock Hill?
It's called the hill,
What?
the grass.
Oh, crazy. Well, it's really nice. Really nice.
Yeah.
Alright, what about you?
I don't know. I kind of bounce around studying. It's weird, but I low-key think if it's too quiet, I I can distract myself. So I need to be in a place that's noisy enough to where the noise is drowning out the thoughts in my head, but then not
so fair.
too noisy to where I'm distracted, if that makes sense. So I'll find myself mixing between studying outside. But there's also, if I really want a quiet space, there's a Cortex Center, but then it overlooks RTC. So then like I open the window, there's a little noise there. Sometimes I study in the CSA, where there's definitely more bathrooms than I said, by the way. We passed like four.
We passed a lot, actually. I mean, there's two right there.
Sometimes I study in the Center for Black Student Cultural Affairs. They have some study rooms there. That's a nice place to study with friends. Or at my desk at home. So honestly, it depends on the day. Libraries are good too.
Libraries are good too.
But I always need access to an outlet, so my outdoor study spacing is limited.
When I was living in USC housing, my favorite place to study were the study rooms. I don't know if you do that.
Yeah.
The study rooms that are in the buildings. We're actually going to head into like a little lounge now that a lot of students meet in. But in sophomore year housing, most of the buildings are located in the village. So they'll have like on every corner a really nice study room, like with
And the courtyard too.
and the courtyards, yeah, where there's just like booths where you can study with friends or just hang out. Yeah, really nice.
And then the courtyard's a nice green area outdoors with tables. They also have outlets, but it's kind of a roulette game to know if they're gonna work. But it is a very good time. Can you sit in this corner right here?
Hey, this is the little like courtyard, not courtyard,
Sitting area,
lounge. There it is. Lounge space. So yeah, just another good meeting spot. TV to watch the away games that we are having for football.
Me and my friends also like to do a Super Bowl watch party.
Oh yeah.
So we'll have TV or some wings, and it's a really good time.
Another question from our live chat. Is there like a general consensus on which dorms are the worst or best?
It all just depends on what you're looking for, honestly.
Yeah, it really depends. Like a lot of Reddit posts that you will read will say that New North is probably on the lower end of freshman housing, but a lot of freshmen love living here because of the social scene and because everybody here is kind of looking for that community and has that open door policy and it tends to be one of the more social living dorms. So if that's what you're looking for, then yeah, New North is a great spot for you.
And then just look at that open door policy perspective. So the village does have an open door policy. So essentially, like the first week, you might want to leave your door open just to keep people walking by. Even if you maybe are meeting new friends and they're just coming in and out going between dorms, you're not allowed to do that in the village. Like the RA will come knock on your door and tell you to close it. So it can just kind of hamper the access a little bit about meeting your neighbors and meeting people that you're living with. There's evolved the traditional dorm style, and even ones like this. That first week or two, it's really nice to have an open door just to make it easier for people walking by and to get to know you.
I don't know if it's just.
Yeah. And I would say, how many freshmen are you seeing?
They increase.
There's a lot, yeah.
Because you know what? Became freshmen early.
I heard that. There's a bunch.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how many. I can think of 6 off the top of my head. So there are at least 6 freshman dorms. And then again, housing is completely guaranteed for freshmen, so you will be able to live at a dorm on campus if you choose to.
And if I had to identify just some qualities to think about as you choose your freshman dorm one day, you know, AC or not, is that a deal breaker? How many people you want to live with? Because while we were showing you a double room, there's some single rooms and some triple rooms. What do you want that to look like? Do you need a kitchen? So if you want a kitchen, maybe a more freshman apartment is more your style. Do you want to be closer to on campus in the center, like a hub situation? The freshman on campus dorms are the best. And then just knowing your gives and takes too. Like while you're gonna have your list of your likes and what you want, you might not get everything, and so just picking and choosing what's gonna be the best situation for you.
Yeah.
Kind of going back to that topic that some dorms have more of a social scene than others. Do you guys have any advice for new students on how to balance student life with academics?
Oh, that's a great question. As engineers, we do have a lot of work. We're not gonna lie about it. We have a lot of work, and usually a higher amount of work than some of your friends that you might have in other majors. That's just how it is. So where your priorities lay on that's like day to day, and just prioritizing which, not necessarily what you need to do, but kind of sometimes just what you want to do, what would help your mental health, what would help you to enhance your college experience and not just your academic life. I don't know, yeah, that's my advice.
Yeah, and then on top of that too, take breaks, you know, like especially in the engineering lifestyle, like in theory there will always be work to do. You can always do more studying, more practice, more this, more that, but to an extent it's not always beneficial. The breaks are what's going to encourage you to focus during the week so that you're able to look forward to your weekends. And I mean, yeah, sometimes you have to know when to say no. Maybe you have a big exam coming up or different things, but in general, definitely still have fun on the weekends. Go to USC events. There's so many that go on, especially during your freshman year. And honestly, during that first month, say yes to everything. I mean, it's your first month at USC. Most of you all probably have never been here before or haven't been here for an extended period. So definitely enjoy yourself and get to know campus. And you'll find your rhythm. You'll figure out what works. Definitely take that advice of just knowing your gives and takes, knowing what you have to get done, but then also allowing yourself to enjoy and grow as a person and not just as an engineer.
Yeah, and I would say as a freshman too, you know, everybody is coming in like new. Like it's a fresh start for everybody. So all of the students are trying to make new friends and make those connections. So don't be afraid to say hi to the people sitting next to you in your classes, to go knock on your neighbor's door, say hi to your neighbors, become friends with them. I know that's how my brother actually has made a lot of his friends. Yeah, and like Taylor said, just really try to take advantage of the events that are on campus, especially for freshmen. Like we have a pool party every year.
Okay, now you're understanding.
Okay.
A full welcome week before classes even start. In fact, you have nothing to do during this week. You should get every event.
That's true.
And every day there's something new. One of those, including the pool party. So there's just so much to do.
Yeah, and even if you're like feeling a little like, oh, like you're scared to kind of go out and put yourself out there, just remember that everybody else is also trying to do the same thing. So sometimes someone has to just break the ice.
And some of my greatest friends I have to this day have just started from, hey, I really like XYZ. Or at one of those welcome week events, wow, let's go make friends together. Like, I know it sounds cliche now, but when I tell you these are the things that have got me the friends I have today, it's so crucial.
And another question from the live chat. How close are the dorms to the dining halls?
So the dining hall in this kind of vicinity of campus is literally out the door. Like less than a 1 minute walk
Arguably
away.
connected.
Yeah, arguably connected. Like there are actually some rooms in New North that overlook the dining hall. So like the dining hall is right here. And that's the same for all the freshman dorms. So this is one of our dining halls. Our second one is at Parkside, which is connected to the freshman dorm there at the Parkside Parkside Residential.
Right, yeah, residential college
Yeah.
department, IRC.
Yeah.
Other acronyms I don't mean anything.
Yeah. And then the freshman dorm in the village is called the USC Village Dining Hall. That one is there for all the freshmen that live in the village as well as the sophomores that live in the village.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I really sum it up to say there's a dining hall within a 5-minute walk of every freshman dorm.
yeah.
Directly
And
from
no, literally, and like this one is literally downstairs. The one in the village is about a 5-minute walk away.
Yeah,
if you want to change the scenery. Yeah.
And what would you guys say is your favorite memory about residential life?
That's a great question.
I think just those late night study sessions.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, in the lounge, a bunch of these people you know. For me, all my friends are from different majors. So I'm doing engineering, someone's doing pharmacology, someone's doing pre-med biology homework. And, you know, we would basically start our little, what's the thing? You're like on for like 40 minutes and then off for 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we would do the regular breaks where it's like, okay, we'll all focus. And then in that period where we had a break, it was just such a fun time. And it really took off the stress of, while I'm studying and might be stressed about my work, I can do it with friends. I know we're doing this together.
Yeah, I literally am just gonna second what Taylor said. The best part my sophomore year of living in the dorms was that me and like my 7 other really close biomedical engineering friends all lived in the same building, which was awesome. So when you know the going gets rough, you're staying up later than most nights. Being able to come to a study room together and then just do your work and have fun while you're doing it is it's just a lot of fun. And then everybody can just do the 1 minute elevator ride back to their rooms.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
So lots of great memories of just, doing work, but also talking, having fun, making memories.
And I didn't touch on like me having just moved off campus. I miss the proximity of my friends. We all used to be in the same building or maybe right across the street from each other. And now, when I tell you, I think we're almost on all 4 sides of campus. So it's not just like, oh, I'll come up the elevator and meet you.
Yeah.
It's, oh, let me wait for the next train. Let me wait till Thrift starts. Thrift is the free lift program that we have after 6 p.m. But yeah, it's just a little bit more hassle than it would be when you're all living together.
Yeah, and I also just loved being around people, which a lot of people, if you don't, that's totally okay too. But I liked being able to like walk up to my room and say hi to like 5 friends on the way, or like see like 10 people I knew, or say hi to the security guard.
The village used to have a security guard. His name was Sean. Honestly, he's the kindest man I've ever met.
We had one of
Worked there
those
for the
too.
past 2 years, and actually I need to go say hi sometime this year. And totally, you just have that community in every aspect of where you're living.
Thank you for that. What would you guys say a typical day in the life of a USC engineering student looks like?
There is no typical.
Yeah. I would say I can give you my day today.
I like that.
I will say this is not a typical day for me. I'm very packed today. Tuesdays are my busy days. So I unfortunately did have class from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. straight, which is fun, but this is the only day that I have to do that, which is good. Like Friday I have one class, one 50-minute class. So it's not bad at all.
Struggle to get to. On the end of the week,
I know. I
just
being like, oh, I have to go, but yeah. Some days you'll just have more classes, more meetings, that kind of stuff. So I had that. Did some homework with friends after our last class. I actually just finished eating lunch with my brother at the dining hall before coming here today. So that was fun. And then, just probably going to finish up some work, stay on campus until my meetings tonight. And then finish it off with some work and ice cream.
Oh, it's sounds nice. Soft serve, or are you going to?
Soft serve. Yep. Brother's treating
I was about to say, swipes for sure. Oh my goodness. Pro tip for when you become an upperclassman, know the underclassmen for swipes.
Yes.
Could you hand me my phone so I can look at my calendar?
Of course.
So I'm someone who, I don't know my day off the top of my head ever. Even when people ask me with me, it's not that I'm corporate. I really just don't have anything in my head. Today's opposite of you though. I have a pretty chill Tuesday. I just have one class. So I woke up around 7:30, 8 a.m. I was studying, doing some journaling, really chill stuff, and then made breakfast. Then I went to class, one of my CF classes. And then after that, made a couple friends grab lunch at this thing called Jubilee Cafe. It's this church that gives out free food every Tuesday.
What?
Between 11:40 and 1
heard of
p.m.
that.
Now you know. Oh, I actually should have said that. Don't tell too many people about it. But we went up there and got some burritos, and then I had office hours, and so I was to get feedback from one of my business classes about what our assignments that we have. From there, I was just working on homework with friends in a lounge. The best combo. And then I came here, and then after this, I'm probably gonna go grab some food from Starbucks and go to the gym. The gym dinner calendar, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then do one more.
And I would just say, while we are quite busy, just with classes and extracurriculars and whatnot, we still have time to get lunch with people, to hang out with friends, to do these kind of other things that are totally not related to school. So if you're able to just fit even a half-hour lunch in there, definitely doable and probably will help to fuel you for the rest of the day.
And I mean, coming from someone, I was someone who thought, I have to be very focused. I would go to class, to office hour, to library, back and forth. It was just very draining. But especially this year when I started adding in those little lunches, even if it's just 20, 30 minutes, check in with my friends for 10 minutes, or the gym, even if it's just for 30, it just makes your day infinitely better.
Yeah.
So don't forget to put breaks in throughout your day.
I will say gym is one that trying
Just
trying to
take some 1
implement.
hour. Because the 1 hour you're scrolling on TikTok.
We have another question from the live chat. Is there a curfew and what time?
We can talk about like quiet hours or whatever though.
Oh, there
Or,
are
like,
quiet
when-
hours.
Like when it ends?
I'm not sure exactly what
So-
quiet hours are.
So curfew, no. Like there's no specific
Yeah.
time you have to be inside the dorm, checked in with somebody, anything like that. However, there are like soft rules that start to happen at night. So there's a thing called quiet hours, which every dorm has. So it's essentially after 10 p.m.
Yeah, I
around
think
11 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
To
don't
like
make too much noise.
morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
And during
Till like 8.
finals is where it kind of
24
doubled
hours.
down. Yeah, a little bit more, just so people are able to study in their rooms and in their dorms. But yeah, no curfew. I've come back to my apartment in the wee hours of the morning and also left in the very, very early hours of the morning. And yeah, you just scan in and you're good to go.
I will say now your RAs, like there's an after hours thing, so like if you get locked out of your dorm, there's a different procedure you might go through late night than you would if it was during the day. But as a whole, there's always someone accessible and something to do. And then as far as the USC area clubs, activities, social life, that usually ends around 2 a.m. just because their free lift program, which gives people free lift rides in a 2-mile radius from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m., ends at 2. So like if you're at your friend's house, maybe you want to call that free lift back before 2 a.m. or
So you don't have to walk.
yeah, you don't want to walk late at night, or if there's, I don't know, a group gathering late at night, probably like that. So just so you don't walk. So that's like just soft curfews I say people follow, but as a whole, there's nothing strict that you have to abide by.
Thank you. And then another question, how are the restrooms and are the rooms singles, doubles?
I think okay, I actually am not sure. I know for the most part the dorm styles are gonna be doubles. Do they have singles? I'm sure.
You have to refer to the website for 100%, but
Yeah.
I don't think the dorm style specifically have them.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but most of these are
They have
doubles.
singles.
Like the one we were in today was a double. I think almost all of the ones on the hallway were the same way. So mostly doubles. If you live in the village, that's a different story. So I don't know if you want to talk
Yes,
about that.
so once you get to the village, apartment style, these other style rooms, that's when you get more choices, whether you have a single, how many bathrooms are in your suite. It goes all the way from a single to living in an 8-person freshman year. So that's all up to your prerogative and what you want to do. I just say pay close attention to the details when you are looking online for a dorm to figure out what works best for you.
Yeah, and to clarify, the 8-person is like 4 doubles
in the same
with like a
suite.
shared. Do they have a shared bathroom?
They have
for
2
those?
bathrooms.
Okay, yeah. So if you're in an 8-person in the village, and I know Parkside also has 8-person rooms as well. So you'll have like a double, or it'll just be you and your direct roommate. But inside your room, like the entire suite, you'll have 2 bathrooms for the 8 people, which is really nice.
Hope that makes sense. Let us know if you need
Yeah.
clarify.
Yeah, and then another question. Here, are the restrooms a shared hallway restroom for all the rooms?
There will be mostly communal bathrooms, so those will have like your typical like toilets and showers. But I'm almost certain when we passed here, there are single restrooms as well. So it's not just the communal. There's also like singles like intermittently throughout.
And
the
then
whole
communal
place.
by gender, if I
Yeah.
need to clarify, just in case.
And I know someone asked how bad they are. I never experienced it myself, so I don't know if you will.
From my friends, you bring your shower shoes, but it's definitely like, it's not
Yeah.
for report.
Yeah, what I've
But
heard
they
from
clean
my
them regularly, so it's nothing
But
that's
I've
too
heard
bad.
from my brother, it's like, everybody's trying to take their kind of alone time in there. So everybody's like very respectful.
Exactly.
And it gets cleaned, which is nice. You don't have to clean it yourself. So people will actually, a cleaning crew will come in and clean it. Even in the 8-person apartment, which I didn't know.
Yeah, the village
Which is
dorms,
really
they
nice.
also clean your bathroom.
Yeah.
So,
Miss that. My sophomore year.
And are there kitchens available for cooking?
So there's no communal style kitchens for the freshman dorms. Like a space like this, you won't unfortunately find it with a kitchen. However, if you wanted to use a kitchen that first week, you make friends with people who have a kitchen, and then you cook at their house. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. No communal kitchens. I will say, if anybody's seen on TikTok, the little
The one
hot
person-
thing, yes! Hack. I would have loved one of those. Yeah.
I think you have to check the rules specifically about what mini appliances you can have. But
Yeah.
there's definitely shortcuts to if you want to make a meal yourself. So like going to the dining hall, whether it's in a
Air
microwave,
fryers are great.
air fryer, the little pot thing.
Yeah. And there's microwaves in the room, so like for freezer meals, just heat it up, you're good to go.
Also, for second-year dorms, you do get a kitchen.
Yes. Sophomore year, you have full kitchen, full fridge. It's beautiful.
Oven.
And oven.
It's also like the freshman apartment, so it's not like you're totally out of the kitchen freshman.
Oh, true. There are other
It's
freshmen.
like lab.
Yeah.
What's the difference is just if it's a dorm, it's a dorm like this. If it's a suite, it most likely has AC, but won't have a kitchen, but you have a personal bathroom to the groups of people you're living with. And then if it's an apartment, it definitely has a whole kitchen.
I don't think we talked about the meal plans at all. But for freshmen now, they brought it back where freshmen have unlimited meal swipes at any of the dining halls, which is why, as you've probably heard, I've been getting a lot of food from my brother lately. And just, hey, can you get me some ice cream? So you have unlimited swipes at the dining hall, so it's really like as much food as you're gonna need. But like, sometimes you don't want to eat dining hall food. Totally understandable. You could just heat a meal up in the microwave or, go over to a friend that has a kitchen.
And there's also a lot of fun restaurants around here to try. We just named Northern Cafe.
Oh, I love Northern Cafe. It's so good. So good. And then on top of that, we also have a lot of restaurants
Cafes,
cafes on campus. Like we have a Coffee Bean, we have our hub called TCC, has like Panda Express, tacos, acai bowls, pizza pasta.
The Village has all these food places.
Yeah.
And almost each major school has their own cafe. So like not the law school. The business school has Fertitta Cafe, which specializes in Asian style food. The law school is more a coffee shop that has these really good salmon bowls. You heard it here first. If you don't get a salmon bowl, what are you doing? And then engineering school also has Tudor Cafe, and it has an Indian style food. So there's just a lot of spaces to get food beyond just your typical dining hall experience.
Yeah, and just to mention as well, the freshmen, you have unlimited meal service to the dining halls, and you also get, I think it's one meal per week. Two meals per week at any on-campus dining other than the dining hall. So if you want to get a salmon bowl, you can get that once a week or twice a week. Up to you.
Another question from the live chat. How many hours do you usually spend on schoolwork, and do you have time for extracurriculars? Also, how is your workload now compared to freshman year?
You're looking at two people who have been very involved in their time here. I honestly can't quantify my hours spent on schoolwork. It's really just depending on what the assignment is. Sometimes I have one assignment due, like I only have one assignment due this week. Other times I've had like 3 or 4. So I'd just say the most efficient thing for me is been scaling what I'm doing and what I'm preparing for, whether it's exam season or not. Which means the semester usually starts off pretty decent, and then as exams come in, there's just waves that I work with. As far as involvements, honestly right now this semester will keep taking a step back with this project.
I was about to say, I don't know about taking a step back.
But I'm currently involved as Vice President of the National Society of Black Engineers. And so with that involvement, I basically run the club. I mean, not actually, but I help plan the GBMs, or general body meetings, every week, make sure the slides are there, talk to sponsors, secure funding for us to travel to different places, and secure opportunities for our membership. I'm also, right now going to the gym a lot. I'd say that's been a pretty solid hobby where I try to go about 4 times a week for about an hour or so. And then, what else do I do? I don't know what I do. I gotta look at my calendar. Oh, there's this thing called Co-Society. I'm a community engagement director, and so with that, about twice a month, I do a community event for our organization members, and then we usually have activities about once a week for dinners, socializing, and all this other stuff. I say all that to say, it just comes to your time management skills, and it's a learning skill over time. I've been in semesters where I've done way too much, and I found it overwhelming to balance it all, and now I think I'm really getting to a space where I can. There was one semester where I was taking 19 units, doing an internship, joining an organization, something else, and in NESB, I was pre-collegiate initiative chair at the time. And I'm not telling you this is all the stuff you have to do, but I was able to do all that and make it through, so it's really just up to you and your capacity.
Yeah, I would say for me, I think I again, like Taylor said, it's really hard to quantify like how many hours you study a week because it really just depends on like assignments, labs. I will say this week we're gearing up for midterms, so definitely the workload is much heavier. I would say like on average, I spend like at least 2 to 3 hours studying a day. No, not that bad. And you know, when it's coming around to like exam season, or like you have big assignments going on, that's when the hours will kind of ramp up. But yeah, and like in terms of extracurriculars, when I came in from COVID my freshman year, I actually was really sad because I wasn't involved in any involvements on campus.
I would have never believed that.
I know, just kind of transitioning from online to like in person. It was just it was so hard to like get the feel online, of clubs. So then I kind of went not crazy, but I also joined some clubs. So Troy Camp, I joined my sophomore year. That has been awesome. It's really low commitment. It's honestly like, for me, I'm trying to be more involved this semester. So it's like 3 hours a week that I participate, but really like, it really just depends like what you want to do for that club. Like this semester as a senior, I found that I had more time, so I wanted to try to gain like more skills outside of engineering and more like on the business management side. So that's why I applied to clubs housed under the Marshall School of Business. Was able to get into one, and now I kind of do stuff for that. Like I would say like about 2 hours a week for that as well. So really not that bad. And then like Taylor said, also it's really just about like seeing how much you can handle along with your schoolwork, because you know, we're all here paying for school, so we got to do it. But seeing how much you can handle, and sometimes you're going to be very overwhelmed. So it's about getting through that period of time and seeing how much you want to handle moving forward.
And I'd say as a whole, I mean, don't like I encourage you to get involved, so like don't get discouraged by any of what we're saying either. You know, college is a time to discover what you like and don't like, try new things, and then what I wish someone told me was that it's also okay to quit new things. If you join something and realize you don't like it, there's no one telling you have to stay there. Definitely go to where you find enjoyment, go to what fills you, and that's what's going to help you keep from getting burned out, is when you're doing things you genuinely enjoy versus just something you think you're supposed to be doing.
Exactly. And in terms of seeing the amount of work from freshman year, I would say freshman year, again, I was online for COVID, so I had like a very different experience. There really wasn't anything for me to do other than school, so that's just where a lot of my time is dedicated to. I would say like junior year is when, actually sophomore year too. Sophomore and junior year, I think is when you see like a real kind of uptick in work. Not saying that freshman year is easy, but you're just getting into harder concepts, your your upper div engineering classes. It's just a little more work, a little harder concepts, so naturally just takes a little bit more time and effort.
And then I'd say varies depending on your program. Like once you start meeting upper classroom, you'll know, okay, these are the leader classes, these are the ones to expect. It's just the nature of going through the process. My personal experience was, first semester I was biomedical engineering. So I remember saying to my freshman semester, this might be the easiest semester I've ever had. And I'm not telling you that because it was easy, but just more so, I don't know, it was very disciplined, very routine, easy, yes. I was able to stay on top of work. And it was true, that was the easiest semester I've ever had. But that's not the same experience for everyone. That next semester definitely hit me like a truck. I took back everything that I said. But with that being said, I don't know, I think it's just more so what Aisha was saying. The level of work just gets more complex the higher that you go. So while I guess the busy work aspect or some of the smaller things are less, I think as you get further along in your degree, the intensity or depth of what you do is larger. So now when I'm not having my work assignments turning every other week, I have projects that if I'm not doing something for this every week, it will take time. I definitely think I'm grown and like I'm getting like more resilience as I've gotten older, but it's kind of hard to compare because it's almost like they're different meanings going through each experience.
And kind of an interesting question here. Do you guys spend more time on or off campus in your downtime? Coming from someone that's not from a big city, LA is kind of intimidating.
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, LA is a big city, so it's going to have kind of all of the things that big cities have. And South LA has its reputation. We're not here to deny it, but in the same sense, USC has gone through some really great efforts to make students feel safe on campus and around campus. So the free lift program that Taylor spoke about earlier is like a great way that like helps with that. So students don't have to kind of walk home late at night. You can just take a free lift to wherever you need to within a 2-mile radius of campus. I let you forget the question.
Yeah, no, she's like, oh, you're on or off campus more.
Right.
I'm sorry I laughed.
Where am I going?
No, it's okay. That was the answer. It made sense. I wasn't laughing at you, by the way. I got a notification from one of my friends saying that I said that I run NESB online. I should clarify, there's the president above me, and we work together. That's what I'm laughing at. But as far as whether I spend more time on or off campus, definitely on for me, and that's just personally because if I have an 8 a.m. class, I kind of like to be here throughout the day. I know I focus better here than at home. And so I'll even stay here like 8 a.m. to 8, 9 p.m. Am I ready to go at 8, 9 p.m? For sure, or even if not ready. But I just know that once I go home, I want to relax. But if I'm on campus, I'll kind of be focused. That being said, on the weekends, I definitely like to be off campus. I don't usually come to campus all that much, especially having moved off campus. So where you're living kind of probably will affect how often you come here. But when it is the weekend, I do like to explore new cities, new events. And while I came from a mid to small size city as well, I just like exploring new things and finding things to explore. So it's not like you have to see all of LA at once, but just by picking one thing, whether you want to go see a new hike, a new bike ride, public transit, with there being a train station right in the back of campus makes it really easy to get around. I just try to see one new thing. Because, well, it's easy to stay on campus in the student-only place. You still are in the heart of LA, and there's so much to see, so much to explore, and so much culture out there. So I encourage you to try to discover it little by little.
Yeah, and for our last question of the day, why did you guys pick USC?
I think I have an answer to this question right now. Do you want to take it?
I can go.
Okay.
I chose USC because, so I'm originally from Hawaii. I knew that I wanted to go to college kind of in a bigger city or just in a bigger place than my tiny little rock in the middle of the ocean. So I was looking at California primarily because I also can't do cold weather. So came to USC. My dream school was actually Stanford, like many other kids, but the 4% acceptance rate didn't like me. That's all right. So I actually toured USC, and I just loved the energy and the excitement that was on campus. Everybody was excited about something, whether it was like the football game happening that weekend, or like in Viterbi, like sending rockets up to space, or like even completing an assignment, or being with friends. There was just a really nice energy on campus that I kind of gravitated towards. And on top of that, Viterbi kind of lets me be an engineer and like an actual human being. So I don't have to choose between them. I can do my schoolwork, get my academics out of the way, but also have time to explore LA, go to concerts, eat the amazing food in the city, and explore my interdisciplinary interests like business management and mentoring kids. I took a hip hop dance class here at USC. It was awesome. So I just love the opportunities that I had, both in engineering and outside of engineering within USC, that could supplement the 4 years that I was going to be living here.
And I'd say for my USC, I'm going to kind of answer it in 3 parts because, to be honest, it's an evolving answer the more I get to experience and see here. So before coming to college, I was your typical student, or I thought I wanted to be a pre-med student. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was very indecisive, in fact, and I was like, okay, I want to pursue a pre-med degree, but just in case I don't want to do the pre-med, I need something that's going to be a fallback. So I was looking around, and when I stumbled upon USC, I'm like, okay, this is cool. Okay, biomedical engineering, that's a perfect match. I can do engineering if I don't want to do the pre-med part. And I was really just drawn to, like Aisha was saying, that idea that while I'm an engineer, that's not all of who I am. I I am really passionate about my outside of academic interests, and I wanted to go to a school that really cultivated that and encouraged me to pursue who I was beyond just engineering. So right now I come here, bounced around a little bit. I actually dropped pre-med, I've changed majors, and went from computer science to now computer science and business administration. And just that flexibility, I wouldn't have been able to find anywhere else. There's not every school where you can just switch a major over a year into the program in the engineering department. And so that for me was just really profound because I was glad that I never felt boxed in one career. I always knew that if I really decided to like it, I could change it. And through that process, I was supported with my, what's it called, not counselors, but advisors, different people career services where it was just very easy to access the people that I needed to access to make that change. And even now, like, you'll see online the engineering plus mentality, and it definitely seems like a gimmick sometimes. But I really want to tell you that's totally true. While I'm pursuing computer science and business administration, my interests still align with how to apply health tech to health. And I'm actually now looking into PDP. There's a health and data science progressive review program that I can pursue all here at USC. So I really decided to say, like, I came here for the flexibility, for the idea that I can be more than an engineer, and I don't know, every day it's showing me that I can. And while I don't know what the future has, I like the comfort of knowing that I can keep it with USC and take it to where my interests take me.
Thank you guys for the answers.
Alright, hey guys, I'm Kaylee. I'm a junior studying astronautical engineering. I'm sort of behind the camera along with Vicky. Okay, I'm just gonna drop some really important information for you guys. So we would love to stay connected with you. A way to connect with us is through the Viterbi admissions office, is through information sessions. This is a great opportunity to learn more about the application process. You can also visit campus and see sort of all the places that we were just talking about. If you're interested, you can register at viterbiadmission.usc.edu/visit for more information about when you can visit, what you're going to see, and also we have Zoom information sessions too if you can't come visit us here in person. And then, as a quick reminder, the early action deadline is November 1st. If you're super interested in coming to USC, consider applying early action. You'll be considered for merit scholarships and be notified of your application status sooner. The regular decision deadline is January 15th. Lastly, we want to stay connected with you, and we want you to stay connected with us, Viterbi students. We would love for you to follow us on our social media accounts. We have Instagram, Twitter, and a newly made TikTok account. We also have podcasts called Viterbi Voices podcast. So if you're interested in that, you can check it out. I think we're on our 8th or 9th season, so there's a ton of information there, as well as these super cool videos that we have here on YouTube. We will have a couple more live events. In 2 weeks, we have another dorm tour where we're going to be hitting a different dorm, possibly a freshman apartment, so you'll be able to sort of see what that's like as compared to the traditional dorm scene. And then we'll also have another live chat, which will be hosted through Zoom, which we'll give more information about at a later date. If you want to learn more about what life is like as an engineering student at USC or have more questions for us, make sure you email vstudent@usc.edu with all of your questions. Those can be questions that we didn't get answered here on this live event that we just did for you, or just questions that pop in your head at a later date. Thank you so much again for tuning in today. Thank you for sharing your afternoon with us. Thank you for all of your amazing questions. Good luck on your college applications. Stay safe, and as always, fight on. Thank you guys so much.